My heart is beating so fast. Hey guys, it's Kendra. So today I have a very big video to announce. I am pregnant and I'm so happy, but I'm also I feel so weird filming this video because I'm not going to post it for a while because I want to keep this kind of hush-hush till I'm out of my first trimester. So hopefully if all goes well, then this video will be up and baby will be healthy. But yeah, it's so crazy to be filming this. I'm just so excited, but I'm still nervous because it's still very new, and I don't want to be like, I don't want to not be excited, but at the same time I want to just like take it day by day. So this video I'm going to talk about everything. I'm going to talk about kind of when Andrew and I started trying, kind of like the backstory, and then the 2-week wait, which is the worst time of the month ever. Oh my gosh, I would like dread that time every month. So I'll talk about that and like symptoms that I had and how the symptoms were different than other months. And then I'll talk about kind of where I'm at now. I'm 4 weeks and 6 days, I think, according to my app. I'll talk about the apps that I have on my phone and just kind of a little bit of everything. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. I feel so relieved and blessed, and like, I can't believe I think I'm in disbelief. I think that's why it's hard for me to like I don't know, it's weird that it's actually here. I think once I go to the doctor, it'll feel more real. I have my first appointment at 8 weeks on May 31st. So what's the date today? Today is May 9th. So I feel like once that happens, it'll be like, okay, this is like actually happening. But right now it's just so bizarre. But anyways, I hope you guys all enjoy this, and I hope you just kind of enjoy this journey with me. I don't know how often I'll film these, but when I have enough stuff to talk about, I think that's when I'll film them, and I'll just edit these and keep them, and hopefully I can post them soon for you guys. So with that said, let's start talking. Okay, so Andrew and I we decided we wanted to start trying in January, and I didn't really know when I ovulated. I wasn't like tracking my cycles before that. So I figured like January is when I wanted to, let's just start figuring this out sort of thing. So January went by, March went by, April went by, and I got my period every month. And then I was just kind of thinking to myself, maybe what if I'm tracking this wrong? And like, I didn't want to make myself psychotic and, you know, on certain day, like I didn't want it to be like that, because it just wasn't, that's how I was getting to. And I was like, I don't want to be like super stressed out about this. I just want it to happen when it's supposed to happen, kind of thing. So I had purchased the ovulation sticks, like the strips, off of Amazon, I think in like March, but I didn't use them. I was like, you know what? No, I don't want to use that. I don't want to be so into it, kind of thing. But then when April came around, I was like, well, what if I use them just so I know exactly when I ovulate? Because I felt like that would then alleviate a lot of stress and a lot of questions, and I would know exactly when that window was, so I wouldn't have to be kind of stressed the whole month and not sure. Because I was using the app, it's called Ovia, and it kind of tracks everything, and it just estimates when you're going to be fertile based on your cycle time and that sort of thing. So after I did those strips, I did it for a month. Well, actually I ended up only having to do it for 2 weeks, because so I did it one day and it was pretty dark. Like the 2 lines were pretty dark, which means you're fertile, and which means if it's very dark, you technically ovulate like within 12 to 24 hours. I'm getting so out of breath. It's so weird. I just filmed a video and I was like totally out of breath. I'm like, people are gonna know. But so it was pretty dark. So I texted a friend and I said, because she was the one who recommended me do the little strips, and I said, is this dark enough? And she was like, yes, you were fertile. So then after I looked at the month, I realized that the whole time I thought I was ovulating a week later than I actually was. So that kind of made things like, oh, now it makes sense. And so I was like looking back and I was like, yeah, it wasn't really like there was like a little tiny chance I could have gotten pregnant, but not huge, you know? So I was lucky that that was the time, because we had tried a couple days like in a row, and it was just like it ended up being just perfect. Like the next day I felt myself actually ovulate. It was so weird. Like I felt my right ovary actually cramp. It just, I knew it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. I just ovulated. And so I knew that our chances were pretty high because we had like a couple days right before. So knowing that, I was very excited, but at the same time, I didn't want to get my hopes up because, you know, every other month my period always came, and I'd taken a couple pregnancy tests, but I never was actually late. So it was like, I would take them beforehand and it was always negative. I'm like, well, maybe I'll be pregnant. You know, maybe it's just not showing up yet. But my period always came like right on the exact date that it was supposed to. So, yeah, so that happened. So I ovulated. And then a couple things were like different. Like a couple days later, I was really, really crampy. So we are now in the 2-week wait, which is like the 2 weeks that you're waiting to start your period, which is brutal. And I would like analyze every little move in my body. I would be like, I got a headache, got to write it down. So I would definitely recommend not to write like every little symptom down, but do write down some things, because it was helpful to go back to previous months and see, oh, this is different than last month. Like I didn't experience that last month. So I did kind of like it for that reason. But for the most part, my main symptom during those 2 weeks was cramping. And I usually it was like period cramps, but also just in my ovaries. Like I felt like cramping, like something was going on. And I usually don't get cramps until the day I start my period or the day before. Like it's always the exact same. Like I'll get cramps and I'll start my period right away. So I thought it was really weird because I went to bed one night and I got like bad cramps. Like I was going to start my period that day. And I was like, no, I'm not, for a week. And so that was like my first indication. I remember being like, Andrew, I have cramps. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, I don't get cramps the week before. So another thing that I do want to talk about, which is kind of gross, is your discharge, like your cervical fluid, which is a really easy way to track your fertility and track just different times in your cycle, and this app has it. So that was kind of like something that was very consistent. So when you're about to ovulate, you're supposed to get kind of like an egg white texture, and it's very sticky, and then it kind of turns to like, they call it school glue texture when it's creamy and damp, and then it'll usually dry up before you start your period. So one thing I was noticing is that it was like creamy every day. It was like that school glue texture every single day. And I thought that was kind of weird because I didn't used to get it that often. And I remember texting Summer and I was like, okay, I have 2 symptoms. I'm really crampy and I have like the school glue CM. And she was like, maybe. Basically the entire week after I ovulated, I had the school glue CM. I wrote down right and left pelvic pain, cramps, a lot of bloating, and my boobs were sore like on the sides. Sometimes they get sore before my period, but not that often. So yeah, they were sore on the sides, but I was like, you know what, it could just be my period, you know, whatever. The other thing that was kind of weird that entire time was I felt just very blah. I felt very out of it, like not myself. And I know people say that. They say you kind of just feel weird and you don't feel like yourself. And that's definitely how I felt. But again, at the same time, I didn't want to psych myself out and think that I was when I wasn't. So I just kind of brushed it off. But that whole week I was so unmotivated. Usually like when Monday comes around, I'm so motivated to get everything done. And I was just not having it. Like I didn't want to respond to any emails. I was exiting out of my emails. It was almost like I was angry. Like I didn't want to just deal with anything. I wanted to just like go in bed and sleep or just watch TV. Like I wanted to unplug from everything. I didn't want to post anything. It was weird. So just like moody. The second week, same thing. I still had school glue CM, still crampy. Like that's basically it. For the entire 2 weeks, I had like the same thing going on. So I was supposed to start my period on a Thursday. And Monday comes around and again, I felt like this tinge in my ovaries. Like it was very strange. And I told Andrew, I was like, I think I want to take a test. And he was like, well, don't you want to wait till Thursday? I'm like, yeah, I know, I guess I could just wait. And part of me inside was like giddy. Like, I was like, no, like I just have this weird feeling. Like I want to. And I told him, I was like, you know, I'll just take it tomorrow, which would be Tuesday. I said, I'll take it Tuesday since you need to take it in the morning anyways, because typically it'll detect that hormone level more so in the morning than if you do it during the day or at night. So I told him, I was like, I'll just get some tests and I'll take it in the morning. So I ended up going to the store and I got 2 cheapo ones from the Dollar Tree, just like the cheap ones. And then I got 2 expensive ones at CVS. So I figured I would take the cheap ones. If they were negative, then I would just take another one the next day and like save my good ones for getting closer to my period or after I missed a period. So I went home, it was about 2 o'clock, and I took the cheap one and I was like, okay, this is so early. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Like there's no chance this is positive. And another thing I did, I took an ovulation strip, because sometimes if it comes up that you're really fertile, that means you can be pregnant, because you're typically not going to be fertile right before you start your period. And it was pretty dark. So that was like my first indication, like this is kind of weird. So I took that pregnancy test and 2 strips, like 2 lines came up. And the second one, like it was faint. And then it started getting darker and darker. And I was like looking at it like, no, like I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way. No way. My heart started racing so fast. I was sweating. I was just like in disbelief. I couldn't believe it. And so I was like, okay. And then I kept telling myself, like, you are pregnant. This is pregnant. And I'm like, no, this like, no way. Like, it's so early. So then I opened up one of like the first response ones, and I got one of the digital ones. So it just says yes or no, I think. Yeah, it just says yes or no, like a smiley face. So I dipped that one in the pee. I let it sit. You're supposed to let it sit for 3 minutes, which was brutal. So I'm just like pacing back and forth, like running around the house, and I'm so sweaty, so nervous. My heart is racing. And I keep looking, like nothing's there, nothing's there. And so I go and I finally look, and it says yes. And I was just like, what? And I just burst into tears. Like I fell to the ground. I just started bawling, and it was just so overwhelming. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is so early. That's what I kept thinking, like, oh my gosh, like I'm not supposed to start my period till Thursday. It's a Monday and it's in the afternoon. So I had a conference call that day, like 30 minutes after I took the test. And I was like, there's no chance. I mean, my eyes are red. Like there's no chance I can talk to anybody right now. So I emailed them and I was like, something came up. I can't talk right now. We have to reschedule. And so I wanted to think of a way to tell Andrew. So I kind of took a little moment to just freak out and just like take it all in. So I ended up going to Target because I wanted to get like a box with some baby things in it and have the test and just make it very clear what was going on. So I ended up finding,
Hey guys.
I'm filming my pregnancy video.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, you want to say something?
I guess I can say something because
Okay.
I just got home.
Okay. I'm talking about when I told you, when I brought you I'm saying what I got for you at Target.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she tricked me pretty good.
I didn't trick you.
Well, not a trick, but she surprised me pretty good.
I brought
Wasn't expecting it. She had to drop me off at work that day and then pick me up. And so it's kind of like, whatever. And this box is sitting up there. I'm like, what the heck? Why did she give me a gift?
Yeah, I was like, I got you a gift.
Open it up. First thing I saw was a card that said Dad. I knew right then.
And you started crying.
I did start crying. I couldn't help it. I'm a crier. I cry all the time.
I let all my tears out before that.
All right, babe.
Okay, bye.
I'm gonna make some food.
Okay. It was just a very special moment, and it was like, I feel like I'll never forget like how he looked when he opened it, because he looked at me, he was like, are you serious? Because it just said Dad. That's the first thing he saw, and I was like, I'm pregnant, it's positive. It was just so weird. So we just like sat there for a little bit. So then we were trying to figure out like how to tell our parents, and I had actually purchased 2 cards that I found at HomeGoods a couple months before that, and they were so cute, and I was like, I have to buy these. And they said grandparents on the front, and then you opened the card and it said congratulations. And they were just like a cute, like old-fashioned card. And I knew I wanted to give those to them just to kind of like let them know. So I bought them and then I just kept them. And I figured whenever the time comes, I'll use them. So it was so cool. After I got that test, I like pulled the cards out and I wrote them for both of our parents. And it was just so cool to see both of our parents' reactions. When my mom opened it, she just like jumped up and started like screaming like, yay! And my dad's like, what? What does the card say? She was like so confused because I was like, oh, it's just like an early Mother's Day present. She's like, what? I don't want it now. So that was really fun. And we showed Andrew's mom. She was just like, oh my gosh, because it's Andrew's parents' first grandbaby, which is exciting. My parents already have 4, but she was like in shock. So it was just super exciting. But the other thing like I just wanted to talk about is, I feel like this video is going to be so long, is how I feel now and after I found out, like how I changed as far as symptoms go. So one thing is I get really sweaty and really hot. Last night I woke up in the middle of the night and I was just like restless. I couldn't sleep and I was dying of heat. So I put shorts on. I was just super hot. When I work out, I get so sweaty. When I went to yoga last week, I was like sweating so much. I don't sweat. I usually like keep my heat in and my face will get red, but I don't really sweat that much. So that's kind of different. I'm starving. Every 2 hours I get like so hungry. I feel like I haven't eaten in a month. And then I don't need that much to fill me up, but I just get like, I wake up in the morning like I need to eat right now. I get so starving. I feel like I'm out of breath now and pretty thirsty. I'm trying to drink a lot of water and I'm just trying to eat really healthy. The only thing that I was craving was In-N-Out, and I just really wanted it this weekend. And I was like, whatever, I'll just get it because I eat really healthy every day. So I got it. I was by myself at home and I just went and got In-N-Out, and then I ate the fries. They were super good. And then I was eating the burger and it didn't taste very good, and I only ate like half of it and it didn't taste very good and it came right out. Like it was not a good thing. So I'm actually kind of happy about it because now I don't want it at all. Like I don't want to eat any fast food or anything like that because it was like my body was like, no, this is not good right now. So I'm trying to eat pretty healthy now. I started a little journal so I can kind of write down things like that I'm feeling and that sort of thing. I wrote down like an entry the day I found out just because I had to like just capture exactly how I felt. Oh yeah, also during 2-week wait, I was really like emotional and very weepy. And I still am. The last 2 times we went to church, everything they say, I feel like I start to cry. So pretty emotional. I'm very moody right now. Every little thing will irritate me. I get very annoyed. And what else? My skin has been amazing. It's so awesome. Like I had a couple pimples right when I found out and they literally like went away overnight. It was like magic. My skin has been so good. It's so great. So I hope it stays around, but who knows? I haven't felt sick at all, which is awesome. My mom said she never felt nauseous with any of us 4 kids, except one of my brothers. She felt nauseous, but she never threw up. So I'm hoping that I don't. I'm nervous because we're going on our East Coast trip during my 8th week, and that's when typically people get nauseous. So I'm really hoping that I don't, but I bought a bunch of ginger tablets and little things to help with that, so hopefully I don't have to use them, but if I do, then I got them. I've had like a couple weird incidents of smelling like really strong things. I was getting off the freeway, I was coming home from LA and I was starving, so I was going to Panera, and when I got off the freeway I smelled Carl's Jr. I was like, there has to be a Carl's Jr. like right here. That's all I could smell was Carl's Jr. And I finally found, like I didn't want to go there, I could just smell it though, and I wanted to know where it was. I'm like, where is this Carl's Jr.? And it was like a ways away from me. It wasn't right off the freeway, it was kind of down. So that was really creepy. I felt like a vampire. I did not understand how I could smell that. It was crazy. But that's the only thing I've really smelled. I mean, at church, like I could smell everybody's perfume, but I feel like I can I have a really strong sense of smell as it is. I always would think I'm pregnant because I always could smell everything. So now I'm using the Ovia pregnancy app, and I also have the What to Expect app on here, and I've just been like putting my symptoms on here and that sort of thing. So right now the baby is the size of a poppy seed, which is so tiny and nothing, Just so crazy. I am taking prenatal vitamins. I'm taking just like the gummy ones right now, but when I go to the doctor, I'm gonna see if I can order their like the prenatal pixies, which I do like those too. I'm just gonna ask her, my OB, what she would recommend. But I've been taking prenatals for like the past 3-4 months or so since we started trying. My boobs are really sore. The other day my nipples started tingling, which was super weird. During yoga I was laying down there and it was just a very strange sensation. But my boobs are just very sore. Like if I'm running down the hall, it's super, super sore. I still have been super bloated to where like I have to unbutton my pants when I'm driving, and also very crampy still. I still feel like just a lot is happening down there. I'm peeing a lot, but I'm also drinking a lot of water. I've had a couple little bits of heartburn, not like extreme, but a little bit, and I got like a couple pregnancy teas and ones for heartburn, so I just took that this morning because I woke up like, just kind of felt like couldn't kind of catch my breath. I was feeling like super tired right when I found out, just like wanted to sleep all the time, but not super intense, just kind of didn't want to do anything. But now I have like more of a burst of energy. I've been waking up really early lately, and then I'll get tired like middle of the day. So I feel really good in the morning, so I'm trying to like, you know, take advantage of that and get a lot done. So I think that's everything that I wanted to tell you guys about. I also got these. I ordered these off of Vitacost. I went on Vitacost like right after I found out, and I ordered a bunch of prenatal things like lotions and stuff. I got these. They're by Bundle Organics, and they're pasteurized juice beverages for expecting and new moms, and it has orange, carrot, strawberry, ginger, folic acid, calcium, vitamin D, omega-3, and iron. They're really good. It just tastes like a good juice. So I've been drinking those. I'm very, very excited. I'm hoping that everything goes well. We are saying our prayers every day, and I pray for this little baby, that's healthy baby, because it just makes me so happy. So I didn't tell you when I'm due. I'm supposedly due January 10th next year, so 2017. So yes, just kind of taking it easy and taking it day by day and keeping myself healthy. I'm still working out as I did before, and I just want to make sure that I can do everything that I can do to keep this baby safe and healthy. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye!